Alright, so I got a couple pry bars in the mail today that I'd ordered, and I just want to show them to you because I think they're probably going to be the handiest pry bars that I've ever owned. Now, most of us have seen and used your standard, pry bar like this. So, if you think these are handy, then you need to watch the video that I did on this particular one. Now this is the one, this is a Quinn that Harbor Freight sells. Did a nice little review on it. It's telescoping and it's indexable. The head here indexes to wherever you need it. By far that's been my handiest pry bar. Now, it's actually been a little bit too big, so I ordered the same thing but smaller. It's telescoping also, and it's indexable. And that's what's nice about it, is you can put this, to where you can pull up on it. You can angle this head to where you can pull up. If you want to, if you need to pry down to where this is coming up, if you need to angle this back, like that, you can angle it however you need it to get the leverage that you need to get the job done. So at this point, I'm thinking this is probably going to be the handiest pry bar that I've got, just because it's about the perfect size. With it folded up here, this pry bar is about 10.5 inches. When it's extended, it's about 16 3/4, with the head, angled that way. So you can go, I don't know how many different indentions there are here, but plenty of them to get the exact angle that you're needing. So if you don't have one of these yet, I'll put a link to it. It's off Amazon. It was the cheapest place. Once I knew that they made a smaller version of this, Amazon was the cheapest place that I was able to find to order it. If you don't have one, you need to get you one, because I'm telling you, this is going to be a very handy size and a very handy style pry bar. You do have a little bit of knurling here. It'd have been nice if they would have knurled, an entire, about a 4 or 5 inch section here, but they just did two little knurls. They're not the greatest looking knurls, but this is probably a Chinese made, well, actually it's made in Taiwan. This is part number 1260 by this particular brand, and I'll admit I've never heard of them, but this was highly rated on Amazon. Let me just read some of the stuff that it says here. It says it extends from 13 3/10 to 18.5. Chrome vanadium steel, 180-degree head rotation, locking indexing head. They do apparently have a website that you can go to. And I guess that's about it. It does have a little plastic, holder if you wanted to be able to put this in a toolbox and have a way to hold it to where it's not going to be rolling around. At least you have that option. I'm not. I'm going to chuck this in the trash. But that's just me. But anyway, so this is the first pry bar. And obviously this is, it's just a universal pry bar that you can use in automotive. You can use it, anywhere you need a pry bar of this style. Now this one is actually kind of more along the lines of, I believe, for woodworking. Get this thing out of the bag here. This is by Crescent. We're all familiar with Crescent. Hopefully that's coming through. Indexing pry bar. Greater access. So this has got 15 different head positions. You can kind of see what the head looks like right there. Max leverage 18. Now it's saying limited lifetime warranty. It's got a nice big comfortable handle on it, but this is what the head looks like. So this is one that you're gonna shove up underneath, you know, say a couple boards that's hammered together, and be able to pry them, pry them up. The nice thing about this is with this indexing head, let's say you need to get up underneath some boards and pull up this way while you're standing on, you know, the one side, you'll be able to easily do that. Now, with that said, you can also angle this head to where if you need to push down, you can do that. Now, the nice thing about this, you see you got this little surface right here. So, if you need to tap this in between a couple boards, you've got this surface to do it. And then pop them up. And obviously it's got the nail groove in it, to where if you just want to use this to pop some nails out, you've got that option. I'm going to show you how I'm about to use this on disassembling a pallet, and we're going to give it a real world try. So give me just a second. I'm going to cut this off. But first, it's okay. So this is also made in Taiwan. So that's better to hear than China, in my opinion. Just in case you want to see the packaging. In fact, there's where you tap it up underneath a couple boards and then put the angle that you want on it and let her go. So I've got a pallet here, and we're going to see how this thing works. Let me see here. I don't know if putting this on the pallet, I'm going to do this without putting it on the pallet. Get something to set this on. Absolutely beautiful. This one might be a little more challenging. I don't want to really mess up the wood any more than I need to. Well, you're not even able to see that. I need to look at the camera a little bit better, don't I? So I just kind of tapped it up underneath that board there. Yeah, that's not what I wanted to do. That's the only way to do it. Okay, now that we've got a little room, I'm going to get back just a little bit so you can see how easy this actually is. Now we're going to pull up on it. See how that works. Very, very handy tool. Really sharp angles there so that you can hammer it up underneath wood. Highly recommend one of these. Anyway, part number on this one is a DB 18X. 18 being the length of it. Anyway, that's about all I needed to show. You guys want two good pry bars? This one and this one probably do about 80% of whatever prying you'll ever need. You guys take care.